How did you get into this business of elderly care and hospice?
Yeah, actually, my wife started first, recommended by her sister who owns several facilities and running very successfully. About a year passed by, my wife got a breast cancer that was very aggressive and rapidly growing, needed immediate surgery. So again, I had to drop everything what I was doing and jump in and took over the business.
Is she okay now?
Yes, she almost died, but she had an incredible recovery.
That's great
And
to hear.
she's really good now.
What's your favorite part?
My favorite part of the business is the when you take the very challenging cases, the elderly people with advanced Alzheimer and behavior, things like that, and turning into the good and healthy. That's my favorite part. I can give an example. One example that I had one gentleman who was the ex correctional officer in prison, right? And then at home, that he start losing memory issues, right? And then he's forget paying bills. His bill is piling up. His food in the refrigerator rotten, and so neighbor report to the city, and they put them under conservatorship. Obviously, conservator hire their caregivers at home, right? And then he didn't like it, so he pulled the gun out on caregiver, and obviously nobody can, work for him, right? So they end up to care facilities, which they cannot last, for 10 days or 2 days because he wanted to go home, So he can stay. Then all the facilities, they want him, out, obviously. So one day I got a phone call from an agency. The agent telling me that, Sam, I have very challenging case. Would you like to face it? Would you like to have an assessment? So I said, of course, yes, let's go. And there was a pretty big facility that I walked in, and then I saw him. He's sitting on the wheelchair, and then he had a big head, big body, and with a beard and the smell. And then the administrator introduced me, and he said, no, I don't need nobody. I have I got to go home, okay? And then I saw that lady, the wife is very advanced Alzheimer, and it's staying right next to him. And then I just see his kind of swinging, and I thought, no, I don't think I can handle him, right? So I told the agent, I said, I'm sorry, I'm going to pass this case. And walk into to my car in the parking lot. All of a sudden, my heart is telling me that, Sam, I think it's God is telling me, Sam, this is your job, and this is your duty. This is what you do. If you are not there, if kind of person like not there, then who's going to take care of these people, And then I said, oh my God. Anyway, I turned around, and then I walked in, and then I told the administrator, saying that I'm going to take that. I will be back later on. Okay, so you just prepare all the paperwork. And so I came home, facility, and then I took one of my strongest male caregiver with me. I went there and took them, So I told him that I'm going to take you to your home. And he was happy. So got him in my car. And then I told him, it's dinner time. So can we go stop by and eat dinner first before you go home? And he said, yeah. So which one do you like? Chinese or Japanese? And he said, Chinese. I called the local Chinese restaurant owner that I know, reserve that corner, table, right? Because it smells, And so very interesting that he's mad at everybody, whole world. He's mad at judge, he's mad at conservator, he's mad at managers, everybody. But he loves his wife. And then I'm seeing him that, chow mein and things. He said, here, eat this, honey. I thought that he was a very nice man, with the Alzheimer's disease and, whatever, the memory loss and things like that. So he came, and then I told him, it's getting late, okay? We're going to go stay at the hotel tonight, okay? And then I took him to my house. And then literally 3 of us, caregivers, we just holding him and then push him to the shower room. And he said, no, I don't want to take a shower and things. I stepped out to the stool and then gave him a warm water and just the way it is, just he wear the jacket and things, right? Because he didn't want to take off. So I gave him a shower because the heavy now, right, with the water, he just took off and things. After that, lying on his bed, he said, I feel so good. He probably hadn't showered for a month, So ever since that, sure, that we had a little bit of, behavior issues and things, but he lived very good life, with his wife until he passed. So that's my favorite part.
What are some of the most challenging or the most challenging part for you?
I would say most challenging part to see that young people who get Alzheimer early age and they die young, age. Those are the most challenging part. It just really hurts, break my heart. Because that we, even though we handling the elderly people, but government allow us to have one person under 60, age 60. So I can have a young people, So I had a case like a teenager got a car accident and then over 30 years of suffering, in brain damage, lying on the bed, died in 49 and those things. And then one other most recent case, that very nice man, very intelligent, is government secret agent. I cannot tell, the name of the organization, but
No problem.
yeah, he's a very very smart and competent, agent. And he took care of a lot of big cases, solved the big cases that I heard. He got Alzheimer's a little early, and he moved into my facility in 2.5 months, and he passed. He's about my age, I get attached, kind of person like him, and he's a very good man. And then it's heartbreaking, the wife, beautiful daughter, comes to see dad, giving a hug, and then kissing him, walking, he's unstable, right? He's walking him and things like that. To see them I feel so sorry for them, So that's a challenging part of the business.
No, that is challenging. Yeah. How many people do you think that you've helped pass on?
Yeah, like you said earlier, I cannot count, but, about close to 100 people, I think.
What common things do people say before passing?
They have a different way of saying it. I can give you a couple examples.
I'd love examples of that.
And then one gentleman, he's early part of 80, age of 80. He has a Parkinson's disease, but his cognitive is pretty alert. And then one evening that he had a nice dinner and he watch his favorite show and he drink his tea. As usual, he said good night and he just walked shuffling, to his bed. And then about 1 a.m. he got up and then he knocking the staff room, saying, "Thank you very much." And he went back, and we found him dead in the morning on his favorite chair. So that's one way of saying thank you. The other example is a little bit different, but I can say, I can just put, as kind of relevant, okay. And then I had one couple that I thought that's one of the cutest elderly couple I ever met, okay. And the gentleman is age about 86. So he moved in with his wife, and he had a stage 4 cancer. carrying a tremendous amount of pain. But he's so witty. He's joking all the time, and we immediately liked him. Okay, and his wife, so cute, spending hours making up, her face, and then put the lipstick, and then she has a wig, and it's doing it so cute. And then about 4 days later, they moved in. I wanted to do something to make them happy, So I went into their room, and then I said, I grabbed my guitar and I'm gonna sing a song, okay, love song. This is love song from you to your husband, and then this is from you to your wife, okay? And then they just sitting on their chair, and then I sang a song called "Let It Be Me." The lyrics goes, I bless the day I found you. I want to stay around you. So, and so I beg you, let it be me. Like the wife kind of hitting her husband with a love light in her eyes. And then I was just so happy to make them happy, right? And then right after I finished my song, he just fell to his wife on the floor. We did jump on, and we did a CPR, we did a mouth-to-mouth and CPR and everything. And he died next day at the hospital. And I knew, and the family agrees that too, that he was waiting. He wanted to make sure that his wife is in comfortable and safe place, and he just let go of himself, after that.
He could tell his wife was not only safe and comfortable, but happy from the song. Oh.
Right. So she just wanted to make sure that wife is okay.
Are there any things that they ask for?
Oh, my residents?
Yeah. Do they ask common things people ask as they're getting close to passing, I should say?
Passing, or maybe not even before passing. They do, most common thing that they ask is to go home.
Oh, of course.
I want to go home. For example, like that other man's story that, that with his wife that advanced Alzheimer's. He's saying that I have 3,000 square feet of beautiful house. Why do I have to be here? I want to go home. I want to go home. So some other, people, they all settling, they happy because family visiting, most of them are they settled, but some of the people, they wanted to go home. Okay. So I can give you another example, right? The young man, fairly young man, he lost his wife all of a sudden. He woke up and the wife was passed, in the morning. So he got devastated. He cried, and he quit his job and started drinking, and then it's just a mental breakdown and with a mental disorder. So make a long story short, and he ended up to care facility, right? And then he came to under my care, always looking for exit, climb up the fence, previously, right? And we literally have to hold him, we have to stay with him like 24/7 because he can just split out. If he goes out to the street, he's going to get hit by a car, and it's dangerous, right? So one day, I had to take him to my car because he's insisting he wanted to go home, right? So I said, Tom, let's go. Put him in my car, and then I drove neighbors around, right? Around, and he knew. He said, no, this is not my house. I want to go home. Can you go further? This is not my house. Go further. So finally, I had to stop the car under the shade. He said, Tom, your house being sold. Your house has sold, okay? And then your wife, your wife passed away, right? She's in heaven. You know that, right? And he paused. He said, I know, but I miss her so much. She was my best friend, and I just missed her so much. He cried. And then I had to hold his arm, and then I had to cry together for about 15 minutes. That was very, very sad. So a lot of people, they asking, I want to go home. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, no better place than home, especially elderly people. In that way, but some of people at home, nobody can care, no family, or even though the family, they have their own life to go on. It is. So those are the sad part of this, Alzheimer people and things. So we are there to help them.
Yeah, I remember that with my grandma. I would come visit her, and she would say, "Okay, when are we going home?" And I said, "Well, Gram, this is home now." And
I remember your dad brought one wine every night and sitting by your grandma and then drinking together. That was really good picture to see,
Yeah, you run a great program. Have you seen things that science can't explain?
Yeah. I wouldn't say a lot, but yeah, several of them like this. Again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, things, but I can only share my experience. One man, he always drink and eat so fast, so he goes to the wrong pipe, gets frequent pneumonia. And one day they got a very severe pneumonia, and the nurse came, and she said, he's gonna be gone probably by tomorrow, if it's not tonight. So we can hear the sound of water in his lung, that much. So anyway, one night passed by. He got up. Nothing happened, just normal. No signs, right? He's alive, and so.
That's a miracle.
It is really a miracle, right? So the doctor came, and I asked, and the doctor said, "Sam, I don't know, but this is very, very, very rare case. But I think God has a way to helping some people, through the body organ, absorbing all those kind of foods and whatever that it has, right, inside, and then just release all the water through the skin overnight. I think that's what it happened." So I thought, I am totally believe in God, His existence, and His healing power. I just thought about it. Just yesterday, I was at the facility, right? And then one of the daughter of my resident visited. I wasn't expecting her, but she said, "Hi, Sam, how's my mom doing?" I said, "Yeah, your mom doing fine." And she just sat down, and then I just kind of, conversed with her, and she told me that, "Sam, I never seen my mom this happy, right? And do you remember, like 2.5 years ago?" And her mom stayed in my facility already 2.5 years. But she just said, 2.5 years ago, when you called me, saying that now I have a opening, right? Because my mom was on waiting list. So at that day, do you know what happened? So I said, "What happened?" My mom walked 1.5 miles from her place to my house. She went through, 4-way cross traffic, and she probably fell because she has a scrape and a little bit bleeding on the arms under over 100 degrees of a summer, morning, right? And she was like, and then one white lady, saw her, followed her, something wrong, right? And she was asking, "Where are you going?" She's Korean. So she answered Korean, and then she didn't understand, but she followed her. And she walked to daughter's house, ring the bell, right? The lady ring the bell for her. But the daughter said, "Oh my God, Mom, how did you find us? How did you walk?" She's with Alzheimer. And she told me that yesterday. "Sam, in this day, I do not know how my mom found my place. This is a miracle." That's what she's saying. Those things happen. I just cannot think of, how she found her.
A few guests ago, someone was talking about how people can choose to transition, or sometimes they need permission. Have you ever seen situations where people need permission to go?
Of course, yeah. I've seen many, yeah. The permission means that, let go, right? So Again, that I can give you maybe one example.
Yeah, please.
The lady was in the coma for months, and she would not go, but she stopped breathing, for about 15 to 30 seconds, and then do it again. And I call family member, right? That I think your mom and will pass very soon. All family, daughter and son and grandkids, and they all surrounding bed, and the mom, I love you, okay, bye, and things like that, right? She wouldn't go. Week passed by, another week passed by. She stopped breathing, and then coming back, and then she's hanging in
For
there.
a week.
Yeah, I knew that she was waiting for somebody. That was her older sister who lives in Reno, couldn't come because of snow. Okay, and the sister called me, and said, how is my sister doing? And I said, she's still hanging in there. And the one day that I called, I think you need to talk to her. Okay, I'm gonna give this phone to your sister's ear. Okay, and you can talk to her. You can just say, you love her, and things like that, right? Whatever you want to say. Because I know the last sense they losing is the hearing. Even though she's in coma, they can hear.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I gave her a phone, and then she said, sister, I love you so much. You are a big part of my life, and we have such a memories, and I will forgive you what you have done to me, when we grow up, and then you forgive me what I said that and things like that. And then she laughed and she cries and everything, right? And then finally she told her, sis, don't worry about us, okay? You just go, okay? You let go, okay? We will meet you very soon up in heaven, okay? About 20 minutes later, she's gone, So I knew she was controlling her timing to see last person and last permission. And then she let go.
Oh my gosh.
Without running this kind of program, I would never have this kind of experience.
Yeah, those are things that people just don't see that aren't doing what you do. So,
Yeah. Anyway, I was going to say one more example, but I don't want to take too much of your time.
No, this is what we're here for. I'd love to hear another example, if you don't mind sharing.
Yeah. Again, this is kind of a recent case. That I had a family, the grandpa was over 90-year-old man, moved in my facility, and he's same thing, like he's almost in coma. Has a very, very nice, very, very loving daughter and very, very loving grandson who's living in down south, right? So, and they're almost passing. That I called, I think your grandpa is passing. He had a phone with the ear. He's Pop, I love you so much. The young man was a very likable man, and he loved his grandpa. So, and then I saw your grandpa lying on the bed, and the tears coming like this. It's just flowing down, right? Oh my God. And then I took a picture, and then I kept it, and then later on I sent to them. And then he passed, So those things, it make me sad, looking at those kind of things.
Of course.
And the family's love are it's great. There's so many nice family member, daughter and son and grandkids. They just loving. I love my mom and like my dad, but yeah. So seeing those kind of people make me heart warm.
Mine too. Just hearing about it, I'm so glad there's people doing what you're doing. Yeah. I know there's different stages to hospice, and one of them is supposedly they get a burst of energy at the end, right before when they're really close. Have you seen anything like that?
Of course, yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, they do. I mean, they do not move anything, just waiting for the end, and then because they transitioning time, and they just separating from the outside world, right? And they don't tremendous of a decrease of amount of interest in eating and drinking, and just all stop, right? And then now they don't move. All of a sudden, get up and just, and they just, we have those kind of, and they make a face and they just asking for coffee or the hot, what do you call the,
So they come to
yeah,
briefly.
yeah, just for a couple times like that. Most of the people, they go very peacefully, have those kind of bursts of, energy. I guess that, right before they go, I think that's the last energy that they want.
Yeah, the body's giving one last fight, perhaps.
I think so.
Do people express any regrets when they look back on their life? Do you see commonalities in that you can share so maybe people can do things while they're alive and have less regrets
Of
towards
course,
the end?
yeah. I think it's very simple, but I would strongly recommend and encourage them saying, just express your love to your spouse, your wife and your husband, and your children, your parents, your grandma, grandpa. As many chance you get, give them a hug. Tell them I love you. Spend more time with your children, okay? And pick up the phone. Say hi to grandma, grandpa. Send a letter, okay? Do not procrastinate, okay? Use all those FaceTime and video chat. We're living at such a high technology age, right? Why not using those tools, right? Because there are so many dangers around us in our daily life. And then our life is so unpredictable. You don't know what's going to be happen tomorrow, right?
I love that. I have a two-part question for you. This is a lot for you to go through all the time. How do you personally stay strong and grounded for this? And then how can families stay strong through this process? Do you have any input? So 2 parts there.
First of all, we are human, even though we are caregiver, and this is our job, right? We are human. We get attached with the resident, especially with
Of
taking
course.
care of them, in 24/7, right? Feeding them and things. So we are sad too when they passed or they are going, processing of passing. We are emotional, too. And then when those things happen and the family come and, holding them, crying, or if they pass and they cry, things like that, right? So we feel that too, but to be strong for myself, me by telling them that, hey, the end is imminent. This is God's providence. Nobody can avoid. I went through with my mom, my dad, okay, and then my kids will have those kind of moments when my times come, right? So we have to go on. I mean, this is the circle of life. We have to go on. But I can tell you, you were such a good daughter or son for your mom. You did everything possibly that you could do for your mom and your dad. And I'm witnessed. And I'm a testimonial person that I can say, you did everything, right? So you don't have no regret. So, of course that you will get hit by, emptiness or feeling sad because, your mom, died, gone now. She's not there or your dad is not there. But you have to go on with your life. By me telling them, they are so appreciative, and then me, give me a comfort too.
That's an amazing perspective and very kind of you to give them closure, even when you're suffering through the same thing to some degree. I love hearing the family involvement process in this whole thing. Is there anything that family should know about the hospice process?
Hospice, of course, yeah. If I think I like to let people that know there is a hospice system and a lot of resources, right, that they can get it. If they get any kind of symptoms, their loved ones, memory loss, or the symptoms of Alzheimer, and symptoms of any kind of illness, do not procrastinating. Call doctor and get a help right away, and call some support group. Call Association of Alzheimer, right? Local Department of Social Service. everybody, some social workers and volunteers. There are so many resources that you can get help.
Well, that's great information to get out. Thank you for that.
Sure.
So hospice, I didn't realize, was kind of its own medical program and its own system in a way. Can you describe some of the benefits of hospice?
First of all, I think that hospice is one of the best medical system that we have. A lot of people has a misconception of hospice, saying, "Oh, they're gonna die early, die quick," or giving up hope. Of course, the meaning of hospice is not to be cured or recover from their condition or illness. And then again, 6 month life expectancy of 6 months or less. But it doesn't mean that people are going to die quick, or giving up hope. The hospice such beneficial to patient and family because, again, I'm not a representative of hospice or trying to do PR, but because from my experience, right? The hospice benefit is like so much, right? They just bring all the medical equipment, including hospital bed and, oxygen tank and all those things. Not only that, they have so much of a resource to get help, emotionally and spiritually for family members as well. And again, you get 24/7 service. A nurse can be literally in 30 minutes when you call, right? And they have their own doctor, along with your own, physician. You can get medical attention right away and then get a change of dosage, the medication prescription, all those kind of things. On top of that, government pays for that. No money out of your pocket. Most of the insurance, Medicare and Medi-Cal, and your insurance will cover those things. So it's such a beneficial thing. A lot of people do not know. Some people, they say, "Oh gosh, I should know, earlier so I could have those kind of benefits." So
That's good for people to know. I didn't know that as well. I didn't know that it was covered by insurance, one, and that there was a very good response and care team associated with it, and that anybody could have access to it.
of course, and then you can get service at your home.
Oh my gosh.
Or your boarding care home like what I have, and then or bigger facility. But of course that you have to be certified by your physician.
Hospice eligible.
Yeah, the hospice, eligible.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be qualified for that.
Well, this is all extremely helpful information. Thank you for being brave and getting this out. Do you have any input or guidance for families of loved ones that are approaching the hospice stage?
Or the Alzheimer's symptoms, yes.
Okay.
When you see that, yes, Alzheimer's symptoms or the approaching the end life, and then I would recommend to not have a feeling of a denier, okay? Just recognize right away and call your doctor and get diagnosis and get help right away because there are, like I told you, there are a lot of resources that you can get help. Find a social worker and a support group. Like I said, the Association of Alzheimer, all those kind of, utilize that. Again, their hospice, talk to the hospice people, what kind of a service that they can get. So I would say do not procrastinate and just take action right away, and you can get a lot of benefit. You can get a lot of help, okay?
That's good input to improve the quality of their life.
Right.
So what about the quality of your life? I know this was fate for you to land in this, and somehow you're built for this, but are you happy doing this?
Of course, yes. I am extremely happy. Of course that I carry some stress, with the job, with the work, but I really honestly saying, yes, it is. When I came this country, what they call, everybody has an American dream, right? That I'm looking back to my life, It was kind of intangible. It wasn't a reachable goal. What's American dream? Money, of course, your fame and things like that. But now I'm looking at myself. I am so content. Remember that I told you that when I see those family members or receiving letters saying that, thank you so much, saying without you, that I did not know what to do. To me, you are God sent. You're an angel. You and your staff, right?
That's how I felt
And
working with you.
yeah, and you walked on the water. I don't think I deserve all that good words, but when I see them really tears with a heart that really true and genuine appreciation, and they give me a hug, and then I am thinking, wow, I'm living quite a bit of a worthy life. I'm not trying to bragging, I'm not trying to patting myself, but the feeling of reward, you can exchange with the money. In that matter, I think I'm a very happy and very successful man. I'm not talking about financial successful, I was this big of a man and had this big of a goal, American, life goal. But now I'm so content, I am fulfilled my life as a successful in this country with my capacity of this big, So I'm very, very happy. I'm content.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a comment. Show these guests some support. What part impacted you the most so we can make them feel really good. These are real stories and raw emotions. Thank you.